Okay, I'm doing another video on plants that we're seeing in nature right now and the metaphors for what we're seeing. Okay, the clover. This is white clover. It's everywhere at the minute. Okay, I almost did this with the dandelion video last week, but there weren't as many out, and the dandelions have kind of gone over, and the clover, the white clover, is out in full, bloom right now. So this is a flower. Okay, it looks like the corona, I think. That's the metaphor there. Each one of those petals on that flower will end up turning into, well, there's a little seed at the end of them. And as you can see, the bottom of the flowers already, there's a few petals already started turning over. And at the end of that petal is a seed. That will eventually turn into a brown mass and that will be full of seeds. What's the metaphor there? The metaphor is once the thorny crown of the corona has been removed or is lost, what is left is the seed, which represents rebirth. Okay, boom, through that one real quick. Okay, so I also picked some leaves while I was out there, and this is what I got. I shouldn't have waited until it had gone dark to pick this leaf, but this leaf has folded up, and so we see, I don't know if clover does this all the time and all clovers do it or what, but I picked this in the dark and this leaf has folded up like it has gone to sleep. Okay, so what's interesting about this is it springs to mind the lotus flower. Okay, and what that thing does, the reason why it's used for rebirth and is a spiritual flower, is because what it does is at night it shuts down and I think it submerges back into whatever body of water it's in, and then once the sun comes up in the morning it re-emerges and the flower comes back out. Okay, so you get this idea of rebirth. Well, that's kind of what this thing's doing, because these leaves will be out and in a nice clover shape. I'm sure most people know what clover looks like, and they won't be all folded up and bent over. Anyway, one more thing I want to show you with the leaf before I get off the leaf, because I've got some drawings and it will help explain it. And this is a slightly more rounded version of this, but I'm going to hold this right up to the camera. You see those white kind of, I don't know what you'd call them, it's just a sort of marking coming up through there. I can't do my finger, but that marking there, that white marking, I'm going to show you a couple of variations that I've observed. I don't have the leaves here, but this will make it easy to understand. And I'm going to start, before I get into that though, I'm going to start with the first metaphor for the leaf, or at least what I think the first metaphor is, and that's what the leaf looks like normally. Okay, and I've put the veins in there on each section of the leaf, and what that represents to me, that kind of flux capacitor, Holy Trinity, is what we're here to do, I think, and that is to find balance. So man would be represented on one of these leaves, and then the other two aspects of the reality we are in would be the other two leaves. So one would be the material aspect and the other would be the fictional aspect of the reality that we're in, and we're here to find balance between those three. We're here to find balance between these three things, between us, the fiction, and the material, and the balancing point is right in the center there. Okay, that's my interpretation of the metaphor for the clover leaf. Okay, a couple of other interesting things with the clover leaf. Okay, I've got these other two drawings here, and you remember that little bit that I just showed you with the white sort of marking that was in the leaf? Well, you can have those sort of variations there. One is a triangle that, if you look at the whole leaf as a whole, you'll end up seeing like a triangle, and the other is more of a halo effect, more of the corona effect again. Okay, and of course those sort of the chevron shape, which forms a triangle, of course makes me think of the sort of Masonic compass and square, and again we're back to a triangle again, and the three aspects of balance, and also the Star of David, and the as above so below kind of symbolism there. And then of course we've got the halo and the corona symbolism on the other aspect of the leaf. I got a fly. Gonna ruin the video now. Gonna harass me. So that was some interesting stuff. Now, while I was in the process of thinking about Clover for the last week, I came across a character called Clovis the First, okay, and it sort of resonated with me because the name, of course, sounds very similar to Clover, Clovis. Anyway, I Wikipedia'd the guy, you know, and what we came up with, well, what I came up with was basically this character was at the sort of the forefront, the sort of, he was the sort of founding father, if you like, of the sort of Frankish empire that took over France after the Romans. I think this is right. I'm just coming off some stuff I read a few days ago now, and I can't remember it exactly. But anyway, basically German in origin, came from somewhere over that way, sort of Bavaria way, I don't know. Anyway, they basically took over France, and they're responsible for the Carolingian, I think I said that right, that, I don't want to say a dynasty, I guess is what you'd call it, and the Merovingian, I'm not saying that right. I can't even say the bloody word now. Merovingian. There you go. The Merovingians, yes. I can say it again, thank God. And I thought that was interesting, because what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a lot of, oh boy, if you get into all this stuff, you'll get into all the Masonic stuff. I mean, it's just bloody everywhere. And of course, the Masons claim to be descended from that group of people. I can't say, but they basically say they're descended from the Merovingians. So that all stems from Mary, okay? Whether it's Mary Magdalene, whether it's Mary, the mother of Christ, who, you know, whatever. But this is what they all claim they stem from. They claim to be the relations of Christ, I guess, something like that. I'm not really all up on it, you know. It's been a while since I've seen the Da Vinci Code. Anyway, so maybe this is what we're seeing right now, is the Frankish takeover of the world. I'm not sure. I mean, Germans are they're behind a lot of stuff, and also, I mean, that royal family, that's not English. They're Germans through and through. And while I was looking up this stuff about Clover, I thought, well, I need to find a thumbnail, and this little thing popped up. So I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but it's just interesting stuff that pops up when you're looking at things, okay? The way that the reality is set up. This is a quick sketch of what I thought was Clover when I first saw it, and of course it's not. It's a fake Clover, okay? It has this kind of dark, almost, it made me think of a cube or a black square at the center of it, okay? And it's just the natural coloration of the leaf, and it's actually a dark purple color in all reality. But it's actually a sorrow, and it's called false clover, or false shamrock, or false lucky clover, and it's also, the other common name for it is, what was it called? Iron Cross. And as you can tell by looking at that, you can kind of tell that looks like the Iron Cross that Germany and the Nazis and all that lot used to use I believe it was a Medal of Honor, and it's plastered all over their, you know, all over their military vehicles and everything. It's a symbol they use. Just an interesting little side note there that sort of joined a few dots together. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what I've missed out of that video, but hopefully that's useful to somebody. I thought it was interesting anyway, so that's why I did it. What else to say? What else to say? That's pretty much it. We've got a sort of a link back. I've given you the sort of overview of Clover and the sort of metaphors that I see there, and then I've given you a quick link to just a few things that popped up into my vision while I was looking into doing this video about Clover. So that was Clovis, and then the whole Frankish Empire and the Merovingians, and the that sort of link to Mary, and that also, that name merchant and Mary, that all come, and maritime, that's all the same origin. The merchant system that we're in now, and the black cube, the black cross, the black square. It's interesting. The black hole, the fictional side of the system. And what have we got? We've got the Franks go to Hollywood. Frankie goes to Hollywood, controlling the whole lot. Maybe. I don't know. Just an idea, just a thought. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers, bye.